Hello, dear learners, and welcome back to Teacher Yan's classroom. In our previous video, we've already started learning about the patterns of development in writing for your reading and writing class. So we already learned about narration and description. If you want to watch the video again, or if you weren't able to watch it, the link is in the description box and somewhere here. For today, we will be adding 2 more patterns. So once again, this is Teacher Yan, and let's learn together. Patterns of Development in Writing Part 2 will be focusing on definition and exemplification. Let's begin with definition. We always begin with knowing what our goal is if we were to use that pattern. And for definition, your goal is simple. It is to explain your understanding of a key term or concept. I suggest that in order for this pattern to really work, focus on one key term. For example, you want to define mental health. The tendency is, along the way, while you are defining mental health, you will also get to mention other terms such as depression, anxiety, stress. Now, do not be derailed. If your focus is on mental health, make sure that the majority of the ideas presented on your essay is defining mental health and not depression. Because if that is so, your readers might get confused. Is the essay about mental health in general? What is mental health? Or is it about depression? Because although they are interrelated, they are two different concepts. So again, in order for this to really work, make sure that you have a clear focus of what concept or term to define. These are more things that you should remember while employing definition. When you present a definition in your essay, you shouldn't just copy the word's dictionary meaning. So, hindi ganon ang goal ng definition. So, yes, you get your idea. You may cite dictionary meanings or meanings from other sources like studies, articles, journals, but you should be able to elaborate and expound on these definitions by injecting your understanding. So, dictionary meanings and meanings from researches and articles may tend to be very technical. So, if you only focus on those things, at the end of your essay, your reader might most likely still not be able to understand the concept you are trying to define or explain. So again, you can get meanings from dictionaries, books, articles, journals, and researches. But make sure that you restate these, you paraphrase these, and you inject your own understanding to make it easier for your readers to really understand the meaning of the concept. Okay? Next, you should express what the word means to you through convincing examples. So don't get confused. This is not exemplification. This is still definition. But in order to back up your definition and to make sure that your readers understand your definition, you may use specific examples. So for example, you are defining agape. Agape as one type of love. So in order for your reader to really grasp the concept of agape, you may inject a real-life situation as an example or as an elaboration of your definition. But your focus is really to define and not to simply exemplify. So don't get confused. Don't worry. When we go to exemplification after this, you will be able to tell the difference between the two. Next. Your secondary purpose for definition as a pattern of development in writing is to convince your readers that your definition is legitimate. For example, My definition of love is the ability of a person to stay in a commitment. So that is my definition of love. The ability of a person to keep and stay in a commitment. So at the end of my essay, I will know that I am successful and I use the pattern well because my readers would accept my definition as legitimate, as something that has sense, that makes sense. So that is one of the goals of definition, to allow your readers to accept your definition of the term or of the concept. Now, let's go to exemplification. Medyo overlapping kasi yung dalawa, but there's a defined difference between the two. So, si definition, the main point of the essay is you're defining, expressing, explaining your own understanding of a concept. Sa exemplification naman, your goal is to use specific instances or actual cases to convince an audience that a particular point is true. This one is most likely used in argumentative essays. So if you have a point to prove, for example, your point is COVID-19 vaccination is safe. So therefore, people shouldn't worry. So how will you convince your readers that indeed your point is true, that vaccination for COVID-19 is safe? You give them specific, actual examples. The examples do not necessarily have to be your own. They can be taken from news reports, from findings, from articles published online or in journals. So it doesn't have to be your own, but it does support your point. Okay? So another thing, or some other things that you need to remember, you support your point by illustrating it with examples. So we've already said that. Your example should connect clearly to your main point. So again, your main point is COVID-19 vaccination is safe. So make sure that all the examples that you would include in your essay points to that main point. Ang daming point na. Or is connected or will lead your readers to your main point. So for example, nakahanap ka ng isang case study ng isang tao na na-complete na yung dose for COVID-19 and wala namang nangyari sa kanya. So that's one example. So the more examples you find supporting your point, the more convinced your readers would be to accept your main point or your thesis statement. The number of examples you choose to include in your essay may vary. Pero, I suggest na do not overload naman your readers with examples. If you found so many relevant examples or facts na pwede mong gawing examples for your essay, try to rank these and choose only those that are most convincing and effective. So, huwag mo namang i-include. If you found 100 cases, include mo naman ng lahat. So, ma-overload, may information overload naman yung readers mo. So, put yourself in the shoes of your readers. Ano lang yung kayang i-digest at i-process ng mind mo as a reader. So, ganun din, kadami yung i-include mong example for your readers. So, it's really up to you, but just be very prudent with it. Here's a sample activity. Your mom works at the City Health office, and she asked you to write a short essay which she will be printing on a flyer. And the essay should be able to help the people understand the concept of vaccination. Ano nga ba ang vaccination? So which pattern will you use? Exemplification or definition? Definitely, you will use definition. Kasi, ang goal mo is to explain to the readers kung ano ang vaccination. Okay, next. I hope I'm still clear, no? So this one, how about this one? Write an essay to further develop the following statement. So yung statement is, I will keep myself safe from COVID-19. So continue that statement. Definitely, yung gagamitin mo is exemplification. Convince me that you will keep yourself safe from COVID-19 by presenting to me actual examples of what you are doing and what you are planning to do. So that's exemplification. So that's it for definition and exemplification. So just to make everything clear, when you say definition, your goal is to explain a concept and focus on one concept para maging effective ang essay mo. For exemplification, you have a point to prove. And you are going to prove it by providing your readers with strong, actual examples. Okay? So, thank you very much. If you learned something from this video, once again, help me reach more students and learners by giving this video a thumbs up and sharing this with your friends, with your family, or with whoever you think would benefit from this video. And feel free to leave a comment, a suggestion, a constructive criticism of this lesson in the comment section below. So if it's not too much to ask, please do subscribe to my channel and join our growing classroom here on YouTube. Thank you very much and continue learning.